Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm back on COD Black Ops 7. We're on the Xbox, and today I've got an awesome video for you. You don't want to miss out on this. This is going to be the ASTRA MALORUM Event points farm slash just XP farm. So, now, as I've mentioned before, I waited on my leaderboard to start this till about 2 days are left on the event. This seems to give a little bit easier leaderboard, but it is of course still completely random. If you want the rewards, specifically this animated shower camo, which actually looks really good, then you need to place in the top 5. There's some additional gumball rewards, and there is a static non-animated camo. It doesn't look as good, but that's in the top 15. So if you get number 1, you get a gift card gumball. I'm not fighting for it, but yeah. The way this event works is you only get 1 point per zombie defeated, 50 points per task for Ted that you complete, and 100 points if you disable Oscar. You also get 5,000 points for completing the Easter egg, but the Easter egg can be very rough for this map, and we weren't given a full week for this event, so I'm going to go through and show you the easiest way to farm points. Now, I should mention, you can just loop the Easter egg if you're really good at completing the Easter egg and get 5k points every single time. You can do the Easter egg in under 40 minutes with a decent team, even less with the use of gumballs. Of course, though, if you don't want to do that, the strategy is available for you. So, what you're going to need to do is go ahead and bring in any weapon that you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to be using my M35 Nova line just because I'm working on camos for it. And then I would recommend the field upgrade Ether Shroud, as well as some decoys and combat axes, but really the lethal is up to you. Personal preference at the end of the day. You can use gumballs if you want. It'll just make the process a little bit faster. Eventually, though, you will want to have access to Frenzied Guard. I'll probably switch to Frenzied Guard about halfway through the farm, and in the beginning of the farm, I may use Toxic Growth as well, because we're going to be taking advantage of a couple of different farms, technically. So, go ahead and load yourself up the ASTRA MALORUM map, and we'll get started. Alright, so basically once you go ahead and start the match on ASTRA MALORUM, you will need to do a few steps. Now, I'm not going to take you through each and every step for getting the Wonder Weapon in this video. I have a separate walkthrough on that, and I don't want to make the guide too boring for you, but you will need to get the Wonder Weapon. So, there's kind of a hybrid strategy that you can use. You can go ahead and do this without getting the Wonder Weapon. It is entirely personal preference, but it will be much better with the Wonder Weapon, because eventually you will simply just run out of damage and fall behind the damage curve. So pretty much the first thing you're going to need to do is go around, grab both parts, so that you can actually unlock the power, turn that on, and then be good to go. Ideally, you want to do this on as early a round as possible, just so that the zombies are less annoying while you're going ahead and building the Wonder Weapon. Because for that, you will need to kill Oscar with the 3 traps, and then you will need a 4th Oscar to go ahead and get the planetary code, because we will be doing 2 steps of the Easter egg in order to get to the location that we actually need. So basically, I am going to leave you with getting the Wonder Weapon, and once you have the Wonder Weapon, which is super easy to do, I know most people know how to do it by now, then we will go from there. So basically, you've seen there that we picked up the alien Wonder Weapon here. Like I mentioned, I think everybody knows the steps. You simply kill Oscar with the 3 different trap methods, and then on the 3rd method, you get the weapon. Now, this is going to be pretty much what we rely on for the bulk of simply farming points, mostly because of the fact that it does not run out of ammunition. So, of course, you will need to grab a couple of perks and get set up a little bit for this. You can use whatever method you want ahead of time, including the one jump hop on the table. You can use your regular weapon to just farm crit kills prior to getting points. This way you can maybe, get pack-a-punch and whatnot a little bit faster. I do recommend that your secondary weapon be at least upgraded a little bit, again, to make this step easier, and eventually we will want to get Casimirs. So pretty much this should take you about maybe 10 to 20 minutes, just depending on how lucky you are with spawning Oscar. And then we need to do one more step for the actual Easter egg in order to get the spot that we want for this. So I do recommend a 2-plate vest. Eventually you'll want to go to a 3-plate vest and just kind of focus on upgrading the wonder weapon here. If you're just going to be farming points, absolutely get pack-a-punch on it. You're going to want to get some of your perks so you can spawn in the Wonder Fizz, because free perks don't count, so you do have to reach round 20 or buy 4 perks. But basically, you're just making minor prep work while you go along here until you are actually ready to get to Pack-a-Punch level 3 on the Wonder Weapon, and you get another Oscar. So that is the big thing. Now, you do have to keep in mind that you will have to deal with Oscars. It's just the annoying fact of this map. I truly despise it, pretty much like I despise the way these leaderboard events are done, but that's besides the point. I'm here to help you guys out. So this spot here in the center works out pretty well for training, at least initially, while you're still on relatively low rounds and you can get your points built up. What you want to do for this is get a couple of decoys and make sure that you have an Ether Shroud charge. If you have a Power Keg Gumball, that can also come in handy, because we have to get a 4th Oscar. So yes, you will need to deal with Oscar a total of 4 times in order to go ahead and get this set up. But fear not, it only takes a couple of rounds and another Oscar will spawn somewhere on the map. So in the meantime, I would highly recommend that you have Quick Revive and Jug for this, just to make you a little bit tankier, and then try to buy 2 other perks, but what they are is entirely personal preference. There we go. Saturn, Uranus, Earth. So that's the code that we need. Saturn, Uranus, Earth. Now, your code will be different in every single game. I'm going to pause my game here just so I can explain it without the Ravager kicking my butt. Anyways, if you take the planets, so we have Saturn, Uranus, Earth. That's our code that we need. Each planet corresponds to its number as far as the number of planets from the sun. And that's how you figure out this code. It's super easy to do. Go over here in the Pack-a-Punch room and you can enter the code. So for me, Saturn is 6, and then Uranus is 7, and Earth is, of course, 3. Entering that code correctly gives us a very brief little green flash and lowers down this maintenance access lift. Now this is super easy because all we have to do is jump up here, and of course you can grab the cryo chamber key. This is your normal Easter egg step, and to anyone that has made it this far in the Easter egg, you probably noticed this step and this spot. You can get up here on the lift and you can actually stay up here. Now, if you have the Rampage Inducer on, this is going to go much easier and much faster. But if you don't have the Rampage Inducer on, that gives you a little bit of time to, make preparations and whatnot in between rounds. All you want to do is at the start of the round, instead of using this one jump table, you can just go up here. The zombies cannot hit you. They do occasionally throw meat at you. So remember, this will be patched. It's only a matter of time until this is patched. But as long as you're firing at the zombies and kind of jittering back and forth, you actually have nothing to worry about up here. It is literally that broken. Now, the only thing is, we do have a hard time picking up all the stuff that the zombies drop. And of course, we need to get this weapon to Pack-a-Punch level 3 so that the ammo regens faster. And then in between rounds, you just simply jump down here. We can go to Pack-a-Punch level 2. Obviously, the higher the pack, the more damage. But in addition to that, the higher the Pack-a-Punch, the faster the ammo regens. And I like playing without the Rampage Inducer turned on because it gives me time in between rounds, you know, look at the map, use my TAC map to get, you know, an idea of where Oscar is. I like to always keep Oscar marked on the map. If you're playing with Rampage turned on, though, you don't have that time. But, of course, all the zombies are faster. You don't have the downtime in between waves. So, again, personal preference. Now, you'll get a lot more points. And, of course, you could use Toxic Growth down there on the table and the one-jump method. You also can use the ray gun, the regular ray gun for this. Just shoot, you know, the table. You could use a launcher. You can use your regular ballistics weapon. So until this is patched, this is a phenomenal way to get headshot kills, weapon XP, all of that fun stuff while you work on the event camos.
Your fate rests in your own.
With that being said, though, I like to stay on the ground until the zombies start spawning. It seems like as long as you remain on this ground floor before the zombies start spawning, once they're in the match, like the first couple are in the match, you can hop up on this table again and then hop up here. You can also get up here via a double jump off of the little, whatever you want to call that, like electronics cabinet thing there. So there's plenty of different ways to do it. But I would recommend that you stay on the ground until the zombies start coming into the map, simply because then they don't immediately go to throwing meat at you. And you can just kind of chill here with all the peace and relative safety that you're going to get on this map. Obviously, that's why I recommended Jug and Quick Revive, just in case. You can jump down, grab all your power-ups, you know, if there's armor, ammo. There was a double points down here for me. Not to mention you'll get your calling cards for using the Wonder Weapon, and on early rounds, like I said, you can go ahead and use a regular weapon. So, at this point, all you need to do is take your time, build up enough points to get a few more perks. It doesn't really matter what perks you have. I, as always, like to have my Deadshot Daiquiri, Vulture Aid, and Double Tap, just because faster fire rate. Wisp Tea, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but Wisp Tea is actually useful in this, simply because you can use the Zombie Sitter to hold on to the last zombie while you have the Rampage Inducer on. And obviously, I should probably go make myself a self-revive. So, I have my Condor's Reach on. You can also do your TED tasks for perma-perks. That's another really neat thing about this. You can basically just farm out all of the rounds until you get your perks, and then just do your TED tasks. Sometimes you'll get lucky and a TED task will spawn close, or you'll get like kills from above, and you can work on getting your perma perks. So this strategy is actually kind of insane, and I don't know how they're gonna patch it, but I really feel like they're gonna patch it soon, because you can use this to go to high rounds. You can use this to grind out points for the event. It's not really a glitch. It's more just kind of taking advantage of a pathing mechanic, sort of like the pathing mechanic that we had in the farm, survival on the farm, where we could just, you know, force the enemies to come from one area. And Oscar's here, which is phenomenal. I'm glad Oscar wandered over here. So when Oscar wanders over here, which he did shoot me, he did aggro on me, all you're going to do is you're just going to peace out. Eventually you will want stamina up, but you're just going to leave that area. So pretty much, if you can, ping Oscar, maybe kill a few zombies to, you know, speed up the round progression. But all we're going to do is we're going to make a big loop, because Oscar is slow, annoying, and super, super tanky. This dude is not worth the time to actually kill. Like, outside of killing him for the wonder weapon with the traps, this dude is just a waste of space. And honestly, it makes this map atrocious. Everything else about the map I can deal with, but Oscar is just ridiculous. He has no elemental weakness, he has no crit points, and yeah, that just makes him not fun. But with the Rampage Inducer turned off, like, if you want to hit the mystery box, obviously you can hit the mystery box, try to get the ray gun Mark II, a better weapon, or whatever you might want. Since we do have to dip every once in a while, I will go ahead and grab stamina up. It just makes it so much easier for running around. If you have the research done for Mule Kick, then remember, Mule Kick gives you more ammo. And we can just kind of loop back in here. We're back in our favorite little spot, and we're back up here. That is literally it. It is incredibly easy to avoid Oscar, and then with the Rampage Inducer turned off in between rounds, you can simply just go ahead and ping Oscar on the map, so you always know where he is, and when he's coming this way, you could potentially save the last zombie of a round and just peace out early. You'll probably get more than a few calling cards if this is your first time using the wonder weapon as well, by the way, so just have fun with it. I'm going to fast forward through a few rounds to show you how many points we get and go from there. For Ravager rounds, just so you don't get hit by anything remarkably random, because I have had random stuff just hit me out of nowhere on this map. I don't know what exactly it is. I have a feeling it's some sort of meat throwing mechanic that they gave the Ravagers. I just like to stay on the ground for the Ravager waves. Once you have all your perks and you're set up, especially once you have the Wonder Weapon to Pack-a-Punch 3, that's going to be your cue to go ahead and switch field upgrades as well. So I have Ether Shroud on just in case I need to, you know, run around and hide while I'm running around. But eventually you will want to go ahead and switch your field upgrade, in my opinion, to either Toxic Growth or Frenzied Guard for super high rounds. And the reason for that is you can put Toxic Growth down here to really slow the zombies from getting up to you, or Frenzied Guard in case you run out of armor from the zombies throwing meat at you. Again, with the Rampage Inducer on, it can be kind of rough, but remember that you can no longer turn on the Rampage Inducer or turn off the Rampage Inducer once round 55 or health cap has arrived. So again, same thing. Oscar's here to bother us. You're just going to dip out, go around the map. Oscar is super slow. That's why I recommended killing off some of the zombies so that you're not losing time earning points for the event. Remember, this is not primarily a camo grind spot, even though you can use it as a camo grind spot. It's also not really intended for a straight XP grind spot, simply because of the fact that, well, you're getting the least number of medals. So this is one of the slowest ways for standard XP, and obviously we're not using the weapon, so weapon XP, but it is absolutely insane for reaching high rounds and absolutely insane for earning points in the event. Obviously, looping the Easter egg will give you the highest gains, but you're talking about completing a 30-minute to hour-long Easter egg, depending on whether you use gobbles or not, for 5,000 points. So, using this method, yes, the initial points farm will be slower, but once we go ahead and get our points built up here, we're going to get to higher rounds, and those higher rounds that you normally would not have a fun time going through are going to be the rounds that give us the most points, because you're going to be facing hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of zombies every single round. This is where, if you wanted to make this strategy one step more insane, you could always bring a second player. So log in a second controller if you don't have anyone else to invite, or go ahead and invite some of your friends, and both players can work on this at the same time. But it works better just due to player coordination and the second player having to get the wonder weapon from the mystery box. It works much better if you do this solo. But if you want to do this with a team, have one player get the LMG wonder weapon, the wonder weapon that I'm using right now, and have the other player try to hit the mystery box for the regular ray gun, or use any weapon that features explosive damage. And the reason behind that is you want the second player to get assists, because in this event you need points, and points come from elims. So the fantastic part about that is you don't need to get the kill on the zombies. Again, in between rounds, you can use your tac map to kind of keep track, look for where Oscar is. Hopefully he's a ways away from you. And of course, we can also do TED trials as well to work on getting our perma perks. Super easy, folks, super easy. So if I have my friend with me, let's say he had a rocket launcher, or underbarrel grenade launcher, or ray gun, or DS-20 Mirage with the integrated launcher, he would just fire at the ground there, doing splash damage to the zombies. Or you could use a regular bullet weapon as well. You would just have to be careful of picking up insta-kill or anything like that. But he would just fire at the zombies, get a hit on them, and then you would kill them, or I would kill them with the wonder weapon, and therefore two players would get assists or elims on almost every single zombie, allowing multiple players to farm in the exact same game. Pretty awesome. Alright, I won't bore you anymore. We'll go ahead and farm this out, and I'll show you what it looks like on a much higher round. Keeping in mind, we currently have 1,128 points for the event. Sometimes he gets stuck, like right here. If you have the wonder weapon, you can unload on him with frenzy fire. I don't have frenzy fire, so yeah, we just lost there because my field upgrade glitched out. That is not what I wanted to show, but I will show how many points you got. I love it when my field upgrade glitches. Sometimes this game, man, this game. With Frenzy Fire, you're supposed to get infinite fire with your field upgrade active there. But unfortunately, it sometimes doesn't work. Kind of just how extra charge sometimes doesn't work. So instead of playing for hours again to show you, we will simply go ahead and show you the results here. I went from 9,700 to 1,400 points. Obviously, I could have done the Easter egg in that amount of time. Probably with a decent team twice, especially if gobbles were used. But I feel like running the Easter egg repeatedly like that is just super, super annoying. So at least we did get a whole bunch of stuff done there. And if you are struggling with it, like for instance, if Frenzy Fire is not working for you, I will show that I have it equipped, just so that nobody thinks that this is a joke or anything. But yeah, right there you can see we have Frenzy Fire equipped. We also have extension, so that should have worked perfectly fine, but for some weird reason sometimes it just doesn't work, and we didn't have a self-revive, so we went down. But yeah, if you have everything set up, like with your quick revive with equivalent exchange, and you're lucky enough to get a ray gun as your secondary weapon, you can get yourself up really easy if you go down in that spot. You could also put down energy mines with turret. It's just all about killing the zombies that are piled up next to you as quickly as possible. Another thing that you can do is on Brain Rot, if you want, you can put Pheromone, where charmed enemy distracts nearby normal and special enemies for a short time, which means that the zombies there will, instead of going for you, go for the turned zombie. So that can be very helpful. It's not exactly perfect, but it can be very helpful just to kind of you know, get you a little bit of a break from the meat throwers. But what I recommend, if you're having a hard time going to health cap, or getting unlucky with Oscar spawning or getting stuck in that room, then all you need to do is simply just reset. You could try save and quit. Some people have told me that saving and quitting has worked for them and Oscar was unstuck, but that personally never worked for me, and obviously wouldn't work if you're in a squad game. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I hope you can grind out this camo and go ahead and get #1 on your leaderboard. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, stay frosty.